me now, Under-18s head coach James Oliver-Pearce and striker Quaine Bartley. Great to be over here on the eve of another FA Youth Cup campaign. James, of course, Woking tomorrow night. Southfield's Academy we've got here, fantastic facility, just remind us about it.
Yeah, so the lads come to college here Mondays and Wednesdays. They've got a 3G here that we use every week on a Monday afternoon once they're finished. The pitch is exclusively ours for that time slot, so it gives us a chance for the boys to go to college, not have to train anywhere, and a guaranteed training pitch with it being an all-weather surface.
Quaine, just tell us about your day, of course, as well here. You know, it's a Monday, but what's the kind of week like for you here?
Yeah, it's quite busy because I'm coming from North London, Tottenham, which is quite a way, and I have to be in at 8:30 on a Monday, so then we work all the way up to 2:30, and then we obviously get ready to train on the 3G. But can feel quite of a lengthy day, but yeah, we get it done.
James, it's nicely set up, I've got to say, from a journalistic perspective. Of course, I've got you who's a former Woking Academy player, coach of Wimbledon, and then you've got Scott Harrison, Wimbledon supporter, coach of Woking. It's pretty good from a journalistic point of view, but how is it from your point of view?
Yeah, it's strange. Scott was one of my favourite coaches growing up, to be fair. Got a lot of time for Scott. We've always had a good relationship, and yeah, it's one of them ones where obviously I spent my sort of scholarship years playing for Woking. I wasn't good enough to progress, and sort of fell into coaching through Woking's scheme, and yeah, not really looked back since.
Quaine, in terms of the situation where we're at the moment, unbeaten this season, what's the story behind the success then?
Yeah, so obviously I'll say this season, us as an age group, as you got the Under-18s and Under-17s, we're really close as that friendships away from football and stuff like that. So basically we have good trust in and around each other, so when we go on the pitch it's always like vibes and good, like basically we say good energy and positivity thrown around. So when we go on the pitch it's just we get the job done for each other as well as we do for ourselves.
James, quite a few of the lads were involved in midweek last week, of course, against Crystal Palace. Bit of a disappointing outcome, but you got the result over the weekend back with the 18s. How do you think they bounced back from that?
Yeah, it was an interesting one because training the back end of last week wasn't the best standard that we've had all season, and maybe from my own point of view, I didn't realise the emotion that would have gone into it. Even those that didn't get on, that had played the occasion in their head for the whole day. It's a big moment for them, and the emotional energy that would have placed on them, as well as obviously Ethan, Q, Josh, Saz and Marcel all getting game time. That's the energy that it would have absorbed would have been a lot higher than we're probably used to on a Saturday. The weekend, to me, it looked like one of them games where we've not performed to our best. We've been resilient and we've dug in where we had to. The boys are saying that they didn't, but I always feel like there's half an eye on a big occasion because it's an opportunity to play in the stadium. It's our first opportunity to play in front of fans as an Under-18 side or as an academy. So yeah, they got the job done on the weekend, but not in a vintage way to by any stretch.
Yeah, Quaine, I mean, Rob Tooby said after that game, he said he wanted you lads to sort of go away and look at the performance and the analysis of it. What did you make of it after?
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of us as young players wanted to go out there and give, say, the best impression of themselves. But I feel like as a lot of us are not used to playing in front of fans, the occasion was a lot to us, and I feel like a lot of players, including myself, kind of made the occasion, I wouldn't say get the better of us, but we overthought about it instead of, I think, let's doing what we do best. But I think it's just just understand the occasion, just go out there and do what you need to do, really.
You've been in and around the first team as well, not just, of course, for last week's game.
Yeah.
How have you found that step up to being part of the first team?
Yeah, so obviously you're around a lot of where it's men, so the environment's much more mature, stuff like that, and obviously you get to learn the professionalism away from just off the pitch, away from on the pitch, and the speed of play is much quicker, and it's just learning and you're obviously preparing better the day before, so you're obviously mentally and physically ready.
And in terms of that mentality as well, what about when you kind of, in a way, step back down to play for the 18s again? You've got to sort of have that kind of same mentality, kind of big time attitude about it.
100%, because at the end of the day I'm still under 18, I'm not a first team player. But obviously I appreciate the opportunities I do get when I get asked to come up to the first team. But I just want to get the job done for the 18s, and then when I get my chance with first team, hopefully take it as well.
It's good to hear. James, just to say about Woking as well, of course, they had a very decent start to the season. They've lost the last game, I think, but Scott Harrison, as you said, I mean, you'll know all about AFC Wimbledon, won't you?
Yeah, we played them first game of pre-season, albeit both sides wouldn't have been a representation of where we're at now. They would have had a different side out to some degree, and we had several trialists and under 16s playing on that day. We fully expect it to be tough. None of these games are easy. They don't get to this stage of the competition after going through qualifying rounds against good level opposition as well in Met Police and Dover without being a good side. They'll be tactically switched on. I'm sure that they'll have moments in the game where we have to work really hard to be in our shape or be well structured, but also we will have to make sure that when we are able to sustain pressure that we're doing it with an aggression and with quality as well.
Quaine, a little bit before your time, but a lot of the old school Wimbledon fans, they'll remember people like John Fashanu and of course more recently Bayo Akinfenwa, tough characters up front. But there's a little bit more to your game than that, though. Yeah? Tell us about the strong points of your game.
I'll say with my build, I was quite blessed with my build because I'm quite powerful, and I thought Wimbledon, my strength is holding up the ball, allowing people to get into play, and then having that bit of quality to also bring players in, or knowing when to flick it in behind or to set and spin. So I say that's quite a good advantage for me.
Well, we've missed having those supporters in for the game against Burnley and against Tottenham last season. It's going to be great to have them there under the lights. They'll make such a difference for you guys, yeah?
100%. You even got a taster of it at the Crystal Palace match. And as a player, never playing in front of as much fans, it gives you that extra boost and energy. It's just a lovely atmosphere and just makes you want to do even better. So yeah.
Yeah, what? Make it. Drop on left shoulder. Keep. Rolling.
James, what's the team news situation? How are we looking for the game?
We've still got a number of boys out, so we'll have quite a number of under 16s involved. They're a strong group. All of them have got scholarships for the next 2 years, and all of them had been offered that within by the middle of their under 15 season predominantly. So they're a talented bunch and ones that we trust. They've all played a part in the squad this season. But yeah, we've still got some boys out. Dave Cowell is still unavailable. Ibrahim Bangor, Charlie Morgan, Harry Griffiths, Luca Ziga. Oba Jabal will still be out for a long period of time. He's yet to play this season. So yeah, it's frustrating. But the boys have been doing great in their absence, and they're a really tight-knit squad, like you said earlier. They look after each other, whether they're playing or whether they're not, and they check in with each other really often. So although it's frustrating for them, that gives us extra motivation to make sure that we want to get through and we want to be in as many competitions when these boys are coming back, because ultimately we should only be stronger for it if we do.
How important is that, Q, to have all the lads who aren't involved, you can't play in around the group still, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Still having them there, because like I said, friendships on and off the pitch, it's always nice to still talk to other people, and then they're always positive as well, and they can obviously from the side, they know what your strengths and weaknesses are, so they can even help you and say yeah, this is your strength, so you need to be doing that a bit more, stuff like that. But we're a brilliant team, so it's always nice to have everyone there and be a part of everything together. So,
Just finally, James, to say as well, I mean, the expectation perhaps that the fans will have, they see that you're unbeaten at the moment. Does that kind of make it a little bit wary, or the fact that you think that the potential is there to have our best run in the FA Youth Cup yet?
Best run's tough because you don't know that it could be the luck of the draw that could play a part in that. I'd much rather be in this situation than any other situation, so the run that they've been on is a credit to how they've performed and how they've behaved throughout the season. And we talk a lot about elite behaviours as a football club now, and quite often they are at that level. They do have dips because they're young and they're human beings, but most importantly, they've been able to be consistent for a long period. I'd much rather, as I said, be in this position where they're on a great run of form. They are finding different ways to get results. They have faced adversity, albeit not a loss yet. They have faced adversity in games. They've been a goal down or 2 goals down in different competitions that they've had to find a way back. What's been really pleasing is when they have been in them situations, they're really together. They don't turn on each other. They don't look for excuses. They just find a way to get it done. I'd rather not be in that situation tomorrow evening, but you never know. It's a big stage. You never know how people are going to respond under a bit of pressure. Saturday morning, it's their natural environment at the training ground. Tomorrow night isn't a natural environment for us, but one that if they're going to have successful careers, they're going to want to make sure that they're capable of dealing with that psychologically. And if they do or they don't, doesn't guarantee future success. We've seen boys that have completely froze on the night go on to be brilliant and learn from that, but we've also seen boys that have excelled in it and then not been able to sustain it week in, week out. So it won't mean a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's another interesting challenge for us as a group to make sure that we're kicking on and we're giving the boys the best opportunity of progressing.
A lot of it's been on your shoulders. You've got Michael Hamilton and Jack Matthews around as well, perhaps?
Jack's away. Nick Wright stepped in. He does the League Foundation page role now, so he looks after our 9 to 12. Nick's been a huge support with the lads this season. He's regularly down on training Tuesdays and Fridays, and obviously Michael's always around the group anyway as the academy manager. Rob Tuvu will also be supporting us tomorrow. He'll be up in the stand on the mic, feeding information down to us. And again, that goes just to show the one club mentality that we've got at the moment. So we've got the support that we need. The boys know that it's there if they need to, but ultimately we'd rather see them taking ownership of their performance. We just spoke about that in the meeting now. They've experienced lots of different challenges, whether that be different systems, different weather conditions, whatever it is this season. We've experienced a lot of different situations, and the boys have found solutions to that on the pitch themselves, with very little guidance to me from myself or the staff. So yeah, we're really excited. The boys have obviously had Will Nightingale down recently as well, which was another pair of eyes and another bit of support that we had. And I'm sure plenty of the first team staff and players will also be there to support the lads as well, which is great. Absolutely,
we're looking forward to another great night at the Cherry Red Records Stadium. James, Quaine, thanks very much indeed for your time.
No problem.
Cheers, guys.